Palmer did well then. McCall gets his first touch, on for Williams to chase, and he's got in between Moncau and the goalkeeper. Oh, what a marvellous goal that was! And if there was ever any doubt, it's gone now. Sheffield Wednesday and Ron Atkinson are back at Wembley.
For football fans and players alike, there's nothing like knowing that your team is going to Wembley. Sheffield Wednesday are going for the first time in 25 years on Sunday for the Rumbelows Cup final. Ron Atkinson will lead the side out against his old club, Manchester United. Yet 11 months ago, he was as distraught as the club's disbelieving fans. His first season at Hillsborough ended in tears. Wednesday were beaten on the last day of the season and relegated to the second division. Yet it typifies football that in such a short space of time, the gloom has been transformed to joy. Jane, you're smiling today, but you weren't smiling on the last day of last season.
No.
In fact, your bottom lip was trembling when we saw you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you describe that day?
Not in words, not really, no. We're just very emotional and I couldn't believe it had happened, really.
Did you think that a day like this would come about where the team's on the way to Wembley then?
I always hope, but it's wonderful.
Well, I think it's smashing for the club, for the city and for the supporters in particular.
Oh, definitely, yeah. The supporters have stuck by us. I mean, our fans are fantastic. The crowds show that, and the fact that the fans are getting their reward, hopefully we'll come on with a cup and that will be the icing on the cake for them.
Have you all got your new outfits then for Wembley?
Almost.
You've been spending a lot of money this week, have you?
Yes, the shops are doing pretty well around here at the moment.
One of those shops is owned by Johnny Quinn. It's no more than a long throw-in from Hillsborough and is run by the same Johnny Quinn who played for Wednesday at Wembley in 1966. Alongside him, as he was that day, is Jerry Young, the craggy defender who now sells instead of wins trophies. In 1966, Everton provided the opposition at Wembley, and Wednesday went 2 goals up through David Ford and Jim McCalliog. It looked like being a triumphant day, but events proved otherwise. Now when Johnny Fantham and many of the other boys of 66 visit Quinn's shop, and the talk goes back to that May Day 25 years ago, they have to reflect on how Everton came back to win 3-2. Jerry Young was a central figure in Everton's winner, something he's never been allowed to forget.
I always compare it with that lad that played in rugby league that missed that kick in the last minute. It's terrible, yeah. It's something that you can't legislate for. Only excuse I've got was on my right foot.
But back to the Wednesday of today. The season kicked off at Ipswich, Wednesday won, and that set the tone for a blistering start to their bid to go straight back to Division 1. The Rumbelows Cup campaign didn't exactly get off to the most spectacular start. Third Division Brentford came to Hillsborough for the first leg, and it took a Nigel Pearson header to squeeze out a 2-1 victory. In the return match in London, Brentford again put up stern resistance, and it took a goal from the oldest player on the pitch to steer Wednesday through, 36-year-old Trevor Francis. Francis, once the country's first £1 million player, knows better than anyone the magic of Wembley.
It's a special occasion. I think that recently I was at Wembley for the Republic of Ireland game against England, and I can never remember an international with so much atmosphere, and I liken that to a cup final. That was the nearest you could ever get to a cup final. I think it's, when you get 40,000 supporters supporting one team and 40,000 the other team, and they're all trying to outshout one another, it can only add to a marvellous atmosphere. And we have 2 marvellous sets of supporters in this final, in the Sheffield Wednesday and Man United supporters.
Atkinson has used Francis sparingly this season. He's been almost a permanent fixture on the substitutes bench, but when he has come on, it's been to telling effect. And Sheridan's going to win it again for Wednesday, and Francis has yet another opening. He goes on to the left foot. Francis! He's got his goal!
I love everything about football. I love the training, love the buzz of match days. And as long as I do enjoy it, I'm going to continue playing. I just couldn't imagine what I'd do without playing football.
The third round threw up a tricky-looking tie which went to a replay at Swindon Town. But the man who relishes the role of captaincy, Nigel Pearson, again rose to the occasion with the winning goal.
My philosophy on it would be exactly the same if I wasn't captain. You know, I'd still try and do what I do, you know, regardless of whether I'm captain or not. I mean, I take great pride in the fact that I am, and I certainly won't let it, the added responsibility, get in the way of me enjoying the day.
It was a similar pattern in the fourth round. Derby County forced a replay by drawing 1-1 at Hillsborough, but having already won 8 times away from home, Wednesday were certainly not intimidated going to the baseball ground.
Wilson. Worthington switches it to Harkes on the right. That's a good effort. Oh, what a tremendous goal by John Harkes. His first ever in English football, and one he'll remember for the rest of his days. Right clearance, dropping for Wilson, back to Harkes again. And Wilson invites Harkes to make the cross, and he's got a lot of targets in the middle. Oh, and it's turned in. It's a lovely goal. Right from the scorer, Paul Williams, and Harkes, who scored the first, has helped to make the second for Sheffield Wednesday.
The impact made by American John Harkes has been one of the most romantic stories of the season, and that goal would be a qualifier for the best in any competition.
It's just one of those things that come along, you know, once in a lifetime, really, and it was a good shot against Shilton, and, you know, I'll always savour that goal, but it's something that I've got to perform well every game now, going out towards the final, and hopefully we can get, you know, promoted up to Division 1 next year.
Another one of those would do at Wembley, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, I wouldn't mind it, really, hopefully.
It's been an extraordinary 12 months for the likeable man from New Jersey. Last year he was part of the American dream, playing in the World Cup finals in Italy for his country, and now Wembley.
John, how much does it mean to a citizen of the United States to be playing football at Wembley?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to put down in words, because you talk about somebody coming over and establishing themselves in the English League, and within 7 months you're playing in Wembley. You know, every Englishman's dream, really. And it's something that I'm looking forward to. I just got to try to contain myself before it.
And incredibly, I mean, the season started in Blackburn Rovers reserves.
Yes, it did. Came over, had a rough spell. You know, I've actually been everywhere. I just wanted to see what other clubs were like. I went up to Celtic afterwards as well. And then when I came back down on Wednesday, I mean, I really felt at home here. You know, I really like the club that much that I wanted to stay here, and I worked hard, and, you know, I've gotten to where I am now.
Of course, your father played in Scotland, isn't he? I mean, are the family going to be at Wembley?
Yes, they will be. We've got about actually 22 people coming over now, booked flights and all that, so they're looking forward to it as much as I am.
Round 5 took Wednesday to Highfield Road, Coventry.
Pearson and Shirtlip, the two centre-backs, are both forward for the kick. Played into the far post and cut back neatly as well, and the turn, and it's gone in! And Pearson, who gets so many vital goals for Sheffield Wednesday, has got another.
Pearson's contribution to Wednesday's cause has been immense on several fronts. The centre-back has scored 6 goals in the league, 1 in the FA Cup, and 5 in the Rumbelows competition.
I think over a season, if you can share the goals out amongst the side, obviously it's going to help the team cause, because people are going to, strikers will go through lean spells, and if the side's still scoring goals, it can only be good for the team.
And so on to the 2-legged semi-final against Chelsea, the first instalment at Stamford Bridge.
Worthington. Dangerous. And he's done it again. Besant's mistake. But what could he do about that, as Shirtlip was in the right place at the right time. Townsend's header. Sheridan to Hurst. King. Williams, that's a good little ball from Williams, and there's real danger here, and Sheffield Wednesday have got a second, and inevitably it's Hurst who scored it. Turner celebrates, Besant dejected, and David Hurst's 24th goal of the season could just be Sheffield Wednesday's passport to Wembley. It's given them a 2-0 lead in the first leg away from home.
And that passport had been suitably stamped by two South Yorkshire lads, David Hurst from Barnsley and Peter Shirtley.
It's particularly nice for me being a local boy, and I think everybody's looking forward to it greatly. It's really important for the club, having got relegated last season. Gives the fans a boost. Let's hope we can get promotion and hopefully win the cup as well.
2 goals up, Wednesday had to guard against a complacent approach to guarantee one of the great nights in Hillsborough history.
And in it goes short, back again to Sheridan, turned in dangerously towards Pearson. He's done it again, Pearson! His 10th goal of the season! Shirtley thumps the ball forward, and it's in towards Palmer, and Palmer did well. Wilson! Sheffield Wednesday must be Wembley bound for the first time in 25 years. A tremendous second goal for Sheffield Wednesday on the night. Danny Wilson, who's been to Wembley twice in this competition with Luton Town, I think will be going there again with Wednesday.
And then the little Londoner, Paul Williams, such a success in his first venture north, settled Wednesday's date with Manchester United in the capital. The pouring rain couldn't dampen the glory of the night for a manager for whom words were hard to come by.
Give the fans something, hasn't it, tonight? Tonight, I don't think we could have afforded. If we'd have got beaten tonight, we would have...
Go on, it's cheap. It's free, in fact.
No, it's vintage, actually. It's from the last time we were at Wembley.
There is a bigger one than this. So.
All right.
Do you want to slip it on?
The Wembley final means big business in every respect. The commercial bonanza is well underway, with fans flocking to the club's souvenir shop for all manner of goods.
I get you this
Yeah,
one,
I
just
think he
to
wants
try.
a bigger one.
The blue and white loyalists will be invading Wembley in their thousands, young or old. They're all proud to be following Wednesday, none more proudly than MPs Roy Hattersley and Joe Ashton.
It's a religion, you know. I mean, you see the fervour of the fans. I remember I got called up for national service, and the first day there, the sergeant said, "What's your religion?" And I said, "I haven't got one." He says, "You've got to have one." I says, "Wednesdayite." He said, "Well, go and sit over there with the Seventh-day Adventists." And then about 3 weeks later, he found out I was having him on. We had people here queued 20 hours for tickets. I mean, a lot of people criticise them about queuing like that, but then the genuine fan gets them. We've been determined to stop them going to the spivs. We could have let them go out by post and finished up in the hands of the ticket touts, but some people queued, women and kids, 20 hours. And when you saw their faces when they got that ticket, it was as though they'd won 2 weeks in Disneyland.
Joe Ashton, MP turned interviewer, has been talking to the likes of Nigel Pearson and his wife Nikki about Wednesday's big day on a sort of Down Your Way programme for Radio Sheffield.
Tell us how the lads will be feeling on the coach when they go into Wembley. I mean, I've travelled with you on the coach many times to away matches and whatnot, but is this be something special or...?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, a few of the players have never played there before, so I suppose there's going to be a wee bit of apprehension, you know, obviously nerves. It doesn't matter how many times I would imagine you've played there. When you're playing in a cup final, or any big game for that matter, you get a certain amount of nerves. So we're going to be feeling that, also very excited.
And this was Hillsborough this morning. With just over 48 hours to go, the buzz about the big occasion is intensifying. There are 2 coaches heading south. One naturally carries the players. Another is transporting the equally proud wives and girlfriends.
What sort of a weekend is it going to be for you?
Very exciting, I think. We're all looking forward to it very much. Very much.
All new outfits for the weekend?
Oh, yes. Plenty of those, haven't we?
What's life been like at home since you knew you were going down to Wembley for the weekend?
Well, we've been looking forward to it, very excited. And just the build-up, isn't it? It's been very exciting.
This is the journey all footballers dream about. It isn't your ordinary trip to just another league game. It's destination Wembley.
What's the general feeling in the dressing room about the way the side is playing and the capability of beating Manchester United?
Well, obviously the two games against Blackburn and Middlesbrough was very good, and we worked hard, and we let ourselves down a little bit at Newcastle. But we've got the potential there and the quality, so hopefully that will come through on Sunday.
For somebody who was playing in the second division for Swindon last season, obviously then relegated at the end of last season, this is a dream come true, isn't it, going to Wembley?
Yeah. Well, obviously what happened last year, getting relegation, to be in the promotion event this year and get to Wembley is really good, good achievement.
But you ain't playing.
But if I play, that is.
He'd prefer different colour hair.
Wednesday's headquarters tonight are at the Royal Lancaster Hotel, close to FA headquarters and close to Ron Atkinson's heart, because this is where Manchester United stayed before they won a cup final under his guidance. Two of Wednesday's team have contrasting memories of League Cup finals at Wembley. Chris Turner was a loser there with Sunderland in 1985. Danny Wilson was a winner when Luton beat Arsenal in 1988.
Caesar, he stumbled. Can Black get in there? Steen, and it's in there. I think it was Danny Wilson who got the last touch, and Luton are back at 2-2.
Danny, you've got very happy memories of Wembley, haven't you?
Very much so, yes. I mean, for the third time in 4 years for myself, you know, and I said that Luton, for the full year in Luton, I think it was 3 times in 1 year at Luton, and then the following year as well, with the Simod as well. So it's been very happy at the moment. I just can't believe we got up there again this year with Sheffield.
And of course you scored a very important goal against Chelsea.
Yes, it was. I mean, to put the aggregate 4-0 at that time, you know, it more or less put the game well beyond their reach.
Chris, your experience at Wembley wasn't quite so happy, but do you still look back on the day as a good experience?
Oh, very much so, John, yeah. I mean, just to actually play at Wembley is every footballer's dream. And although we did get beat by Norwich 1-0, it was the occasion itself which is, you know, so great to be involved with.
Having had a loser's medal, does that double your resolve to get a winner's one this time?
Very much so, yeah. I mean, obviously everybody likes to win when they get to a cup final, but you know, hopefully the boys will settle down early on and we enjoy the afternoon, and if we come out with a winner's medal, it's tremendous.
It's a dream for you to be playing at all when you bear in mind that at the start of the season you were in the reserves.
That's right, it's been a complete turnaround since the start of this year, so hopefully the season ends up triumphantly with promotion and a cup winner's medal.
There's a bit of added spice for you, of course, because you're up against your old club, Manchester United.
Sure, yeah. I mean, Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, if not the world, and to meet them in the cup final is great, and especially when you've played for them before. You know, I always look back on that particular part of my career with pride that I've represented one of the best teams, and it'd be, you know, a great occasion if we can go out there and beat them.
Wednesday couldn't have more redoubtable opponents at Wembley than Manchester United. Alex Ferguson's side have been beaten in major cup competitions only once in the past 2 years. This season alone, they've lost only 1 out of 18 cup ties. And their astonishing Rumbelows victory at Highbury, when they destroyed Arsenal 6-2, was the performance of many a season. The PFA's Young Player of the Year, Lee Sharp, has sprung to prominence with a string of excellent displays, culminating in a first international cap for England at the tender age of 19. Sharp was the one with the killer touch, not just against Arsenal, but against Leeds United in the semi-final as well.
And Hughes gets it away to McClare. Lee Sharp, the flag has stayed down. They say he's onside. Lee Sharp now for Manchester United. And that has settled it. No doubt about it now.
Despite their impressive record in cup competitions, it's very evident that Manchester United will not treat Wednesday's challenge lightly.
They're a good footballing side, everybody knows that. They're obviously a first division club playing in the second division at the moment. I think everybody's confident down there that they'll be in the first division next year, and rightly so. It'll be an enjoyable game, I would have thought. They like to play football, they've got good footballers in the side, and let's just hope that it's a good game for everybody concerned.
I mean, I've every respect for Ron Atkinson as a manager. You know, I thought he did a great job at West Brom, he did a great job here, and I mean, you've only got to look at what he's done with Sheffield Wednesday. He's got them in the Rumbelows Cup final, and they look quite good for promotion this year. So he's done a good job, and the thing I like about Ron's team, he always gets them to play nice, attractive football, and he has flair players in his team. So it's all set up to be a really good game on Sunday, but he'll not be getting any favours off me.
The two lads up front, Williams and Hurst, have obviously got a good understanding. I mean, they've got 40 goals probably between them, and any striking force what can do that, they've obviously got to be good players, and we'll be hoping that, obviously myself and Gary, that won't keep them quiet.
Palmer's been a bit unfortunate, you know, being sent off and missing the cup final. You feel for a lad who's got to miss a cup final in those circumstances. You know, but they've still all round, they're a strong team, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Come on, let's go! Come on, sprint!
The day hasn't passed without some work for Wednesday's players, though. Soon after arrival, they were training in the unusually grand setting of Hyde Park.
Sprint! Yeah.
No one loves the game of football more than Sheffield Wednesday's manager. Ron Atkinson has a larger-than-life image which sometimes obscures his genuine passion for the sport. He's also just a mite superstitious.
There are certain things that you would like to do because you associate it with success. I mean, we all know it makes no difference whatsoever what you do, where you stay. It's how you play on the day. But we do tend, like, you know, have a preference for hotels that you can associate with success.
Manchester United have a lot of experience of playing at Wembley, of course. Is there any danger of Sheffield Wednesday's players freezing on the occasion?
Only if the weather stays like this. No, I honestly don't know. We will be doing our utmost to try and get the players to have no fear. I mean, basically, in a way, we go there in everybody else's eyes, but the people in South Yorkshire, we go down there as underdogs. I don't subscribe to that, but that's the way most people will see it. And we'll be quite simply and purely saying to our players, get there and do your best, show people what you're capable of. If we play as we can play, that will be good enough.
Sharing John Harkes' big day will be his father and brother, who fly in tomorrow morning. And the player who's attracted most media attention through this final had a surprise visitor when the team trained in Hyde Park this afternoon. London Monarchs American footballer Howard Feggins. Howard, what do you reckon to him as an American footballer?
Oh, first of all, I think he could be a great player. You know, he got great hands.
Have you ever played the game, John?
Just as a kid, you know, recreational, but nothing serious. Never really got into it, you know, into the leagues. It's always too skinny, man. I'm not as big as this man.
You'll be a bit happier
I can't
at
go
Wembley.
into the tackles with him. If he's coming running at me, I'll say, yeah, to the right, to the right.
You'll be happy playing soccer at Wembley?
Yeah, I will be, definitely looking forward to it.
Howard, what do you reckon to an American playing in a soccer cup final in this country?
Well, I wish him the best. I know it's quite an experience. I found out that he's the only American here, so I think it's a big challenge for him to represent America and to show the people back in the States that, you know, we can play well, football here, but soccer back in the States.
So the London Monarchs are right behind him?
Oh, we're right behind him. We're right behind him.
Rooting for Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday, then?
Oh, yeah.
We've said all along, the fans have stuck by us through the bad times then, hopefully through the good times now and possibly good times to come. It's more a reward for the people that, as I say, have stuck by us.
So as Wednesday's players put the final touches to their preparations and the Wembley roar beckons, they know and their supporters appreciate that another chapter in an illustrious history, win or lose, is about to be written.
We dream the same dream, we want the same thing.